Hello and welcome to UZREPORT World News with me, Said Rasul Ashrafkhanov. In our headlines today, over 2,700 projects planned in the Khorezm region. The World Bank to upgrade water sanitation in 3 regions. Uzbekistan suspends flights to and from several countries. President Shavkat Mirziyoyev has mapped out the Khorezm region's future development strategy. Over the next 3 years, the region will launch over 2,700 investment projects worth around $2.5 billion. They are expected to create over 50,000 jobs.
New projects will be implemented at the automobile plant in the Khorezm region to increase the localization of Damas and Labo micro-vans to 65%. The cotton processing volume set to reach 100% next year, with the volume of yarn processing reaching 70% in the next 3 years, compared to the current 35%. The plans include the construction of a chemical plant with an annual capacity of 63,000 tons of caustic soda and chlorine that will attract Malaysian investments in the amount of $250 million. Instructions were given on the organization of a tourist zone along the Shawat Canal and creation of the Khorezm Hans village in Khiva. President Mirziyoyev also proposed to hold an international Lasgi dance festival in Khorezm with the aim of promoting national art and attracting foreign tourists.
The Uzbek parliament holding a roundtable on kidney disease. The legislative chamber responded to a joint request by the Adalat Party and the Dialysis Association. Doctors, MPs and patients discussed the presidential resolution on nephrology and hemodialysis. The event was timed for the World Kidney Day. Opening the session, the chair of the Public Health Committee, Yelena Borisova, said the ongoing reforms had helped improve the first aid. Tashkent upgraded its ambulance fleet, replacing old Damas's with Fords.
The city department got 150 new ambulances. The upgrade will be scaled up across the regions. Generally, the size of our ambulance fleet increased from 818 to 1,666.
Borisova also said EMTs had received more funding for medical supplies.
Thanks to the targeted funds received from the government, the value of supplies has seen a tenfold increase over the past 2 years. Think about this number. These are enormous financial resources, and the issues of underfunding among our EMT teams have been eliminated.
The Tashkent authorities set up a call center, according to Borisova, expanding access to emergency care and reducing delays. Speaking of reforms in kidney diseases, the Dialysis Association is expected to be fully reformed. Although it was set up as far back as October 2018, it started operations only last December. The Dialysis Association and the Adalat Party signed an MOU. The document sets out plans for future cooperation in nationwide hemodialysis monitoring. Uzbekistan and Tajikistan are planning to build 2 hydropower plants on the Zarafshan River basin. According to the Uzbek Ministry of Energy, the plants will generate nearly 1.5 billion kilowatt-hours of electricity transmitted exclusively to Uzbekistan. The projects, worth over $530 million, will be financed through loans, grants and capital. With schools and universities all around the world shifting to online learning in a bid to limit the spread of COVID-19, the University of Journalism and Mass Communications of Uzbekistan has put in preemptive measures by banning any and all physical contact between students. However, classes and events have not yet been cancelled, as there are currently no reported cases of COVID-19 in Uzbekistan. The memo indicating the new protocol was signed by the rector of the university and included the following advice: let's protect our health, wash our hands more often, and beware of any virus adversity. Uzbekistan has suspended flights to and from France, Spain and the UK to prevent the spread of the coronavirus. The State Committee for Tourism Development made the announcement on Friday. The authorities also decided to temporarily close the border to citizens of 6 countries: China, South Korea, Italy, Iran, France and Spain. Earlier, Uzbekistan stopped air traffic with China, Italy, Iran and Afghanistan. There are no confirmed cases of infections in the country so far, said the director of the epidemiological agency on Friday. Between January 15th and March 13th, over 8,000 people have arrived in Uzbekistan from countries where the coronavirus was detected. Of these, over 2,600 are currently placed in a 14-day quarantine. We have formed special rapid response teams, and we have prepared everything for rapid evacuation and proper medical care in the event of identification of any infection cases. When parks are filled with the hubbub of birds and the aroma of swelling butts, when springs and irrigation ditches wake up from hibernation, the long-awaited holiday of Nowruz comes to Uzbekistan. It is celebrated on the 21st of March. The holiday marks the joyous awakening of every living thing after winter, when farmers begin sowing season. Due to the outbreak of the coronavirus across the world, the Uzbek government has decided to cancel a number of events at the local and international levels. These include the Tashkent Marathon and the opening of the cultural event called Khiva, the capital of the Turkic World Culture 2020. Other celebrations and activities will be carried out as scheduled. In the meantime, the neighboring Kazakhstan has confirmed the country's first 4 cases of the novel coronavirus. According to the health minister, 2 of the infected had arrived from Germany a couple of days ago. Neither of them has any clinical symptoms. They are feeling well. Earlier on Friday, Kazakhstan's Civil Aviation Committee announced it has suspended international flights to countries including the Netherlands, Poland, Turkey and the UK. The World Bank will allocate $240 million to support Uzbekistan's water supply system. The bank's country manager, Hideki Mori, said the project, once complete, will improve water access for over 500,000 people in 3 regions. The first involves the towns of Nukuz, Tahiatash and Hodjili in the Republic of Karakalpakstan, where it aims to improve the sewerage infrastructure. The Sirdarya and Samarkand regions will have their water systems reconstructed. Hayri Al-Jamal, the bank's senior water supply and sanitation specialist, gave us more details.
The World Bank has approved this new project. Financing from the World Bank is totaling $239 million, and this is going to be supplemented by another $7.8 million coming from the Swiss Development Agency. The project aims at improving coverage, quality and efficiency of water services in Karakal, Pakistan, Samarkand, as well as Sirdarya, and it is expected to benefit directly more than 500,000 people. It will also strengthen the planning and regulatory capacity of the water sector in general here in Uzbekistan. So this will be implemented in strong partnership with the Ministry of Housing and Communal Services, and also the 3 Sovokovas or water utilities in the 3 mentioned regions. The SICO Finance is mainly focusing on the soft part of this project, namely supporting the strengthening the capacity of these utilities and also pushing the reform agenda in the water sector and support the capacity nationwide and in the Ministry of Housing and Communal Services to manage the water supply and services, water supply and sanitation services sector. The project is going to be implemented over the coming 7 years. We hope that it will demonstrate another remarkable success for the 3 regions in particular and for Uzbekistan in general.
The Senate has heard reports from ambassadors in European countries. Speaking before the International Relations, Investment and Tourism Committee, the top diplomats provided updates on roadmap implementation in their host countries. Committee members noted some drawbacks in the progress of some projects and gave recommendations to improve efficiency. Dushanbe Mayor Rustam Emomali, the eldest son of President Emomali Rahman, has been nominated for Tajikistan's Upper House of Parliament. He received the unanimous approval of the newly elected members of the Dushanbe legislature. The parliamentary elections will take place on March 27th.
US President Donald Trump on Friday declared a national emergency over the fast-spreading coronavirus, opening the door to $50 billion in federal aid to fight a disease he said could have an even greater impact on the country. Trump made the announcement at a Rose Garden news conference, flanked by top health officials and private sector company executives, as he battled to show the Americans he is aggressively addressing the health crisis, appearing to play down the threat for weeks. The virus that emerged in central China in December has now spread to over 130 countries and territories and infected more than 138,000 people worldwide, according to the World Health Organization. Trump himself came into contact with a Brazilian official last Saturday, who later tested positive for the coronavirus. The White House said on Thursday Trump was not exhibiting symptoms and had not been tested.
Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau told reporters on Friday that he had no symptoms of the coronavirus after his wife Sophie became infected with the disease.
Sophie's symptoms remain mild, but we are following medical advice and taking every precaution. She will remain in isolation for the time being. This means that, upon my doctor's recommendation, I will remain in self-isolation for 14 days. I want to be clear, I have no symptoms, and I'm feeling good. And technology allows me to work from home. Of course, it's an inconvenience and somewhat frustrating. We are all social beings, after all. But we have to do this because we have to protect our neighbors and our friends, especially our more vulnerable seniors and people with pre-existing conditions.
Trudeau held the unprecedented outdoor press conference in front of his Ottawa residence, where he will spend 14 days with his wife and 3 children. He also announced that Canada will dramatically ramp up its measures to combat the spread of the coronavirus, advising citizens against non-essential foreign travel and promising, quote, significant financial aid for Canadians.
No one should have to worry about paying rent, buying groceries, or additional childcare because of COVID-19. We will help Canadians financially.
A historic week on Wall Street came to a close on Friday with an explosive rally. The Dow jumped nearly 2,000 points, a more than 9% gain. The S&P 500 and Nasdaq surged more than 9% as well in Wall Street's biggest one-day rally since October 2008. Investors went bargain hunting one day after the worst day for stocks since the 1987 crash. Gains were also fueled by President Trump, who announced that there will be more coronavirus tests made available. Julia Carlson is founder of Financial Freedom Wealth Management, and she's optimistic the market may have found a bottom. Though she expects more volatility, she described Friday's action this way.
Well, a relief rally, and also I think the concerns that we all had yesterday. I mean, the fear and the anxiety and the worry that we wouldn't see another up day, but then here we get this today is just proof that this market is resilient. We will get past this.
In another sign of market hope, Treasury yields rose with the benchmark 10-year note flirting with the psychologically important 1% interest rate. 2 of the sectors hardest hit by the coronavirus outbreak saw some relief. Delta Airlines, American, and United say they are in talks with the U.S. government about potential assistance as they suffer from a drop-off in air travel. The talks are said to be in the early stages. Meanwhile, airlines are doing what they can to cut costs. Delta announced it will eliminate 40% of its flights in coming months. That's the largest reduction ever in its history. Delta jumped almost 14% on Friday. American and United finished higher as well. One day after a unit of Carnival temporarily halted all voyages, Norwegian has followed suit. No cruises will sail across its 3 brands through April 11th. It's handing out a 125% refund credit for a future trip. Shares jumped 15%. Royal Caribbean and Carnival were up too.
These have been the latest news from UZREPORT World News with me, Said Rasul Ashraf Khanov. Until next time, goodbye.